What's up, Pirate Nation? Welcome back to episode 7 of the Ship's Log. I am your host, Jack Powers, here accompanied by returning linebacker Mike Edwards and defensive coordinator Coach Blake Harrell. Guys, how we doing today?
Doing great.
Doing good. Just
Coach.
honored to be in your presence.
No, for real.
Come on, Coach. I said the same thing with Coach Houston when he got on here. I don't think when you were recruiting me that we'd ever thought we'd be sitting down here doing a podcast.
No, I was going to be happy if you just made a tackle, more or less. Now you turn out to be your own host and podcast. I mean, it's big time.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is
my lifetime. This is my life goal here, Mike. If I can be like Jack Powers one day.
Come on, Coach.
So a career end, another one start.
That's right.
Well, I don't know if you guys have watched or listened to the previous kind of shows here. We usually start off with a pirate scenario to get the creative juices flowing around here. So picture this. While sailing through treacherous waters, known for their tales of monstrous kraken, which are like big octopus, your crew suddenly spots threatening tentacles emerging from the depths. As panic ensues, you must devise a plan to fend off the creature and save your ship from its clutches. Who from the team do you assign to lead the defense, and what tactics will you employ?
Well, first of all, I'm glad he defined what that was an octopus, Mike, because I had no clue. How about you?
I ain't know what that was. He said cracking.
They definitely don't have that in Alabama.
Nah, we got that. But nah, I think I use DJ. I ain't gonna lie. I use Lil Mike Tyson. I know he gonna fight.
You think he's gonna be able to formulate a calm, cool, and collected plan though, in the heat of the moment?
It probably ain't gonna be calm, cool, collective, but it's gonna destroy something. I can tell you that. He ain't gonna go down without no fight.
That's great that Mike says that. Like, I think there's certain ways to, and this is like a little bit more of a serious answer than Mike's, but I think there's certain ways to lead a defense. And some of that, you want that cool, calm, collective.
Right.
You know, to me, that's a Zakiah Barker.
Yeah.
But you want that guy that's going to be a dog
switch
for you, flip the switch in the foxhole with you. You know, DJ's a good one. I think Mike Edwards is a really good one too. Like, I think there's different ways to lead a football team, lead a program, lead a defense, and be on the ship when it's going down.
Right.
You know? And I think that's key. So we always say this, like, when you're building a NASCAR team, you don't want a bunch of jack men. You want a jack man, you want a gas man, you want a tire changer.
Got to have your roles.
You got to have your roles.
Nah, fact.
I don't know what I'd be thinking there. I don't know the best way to approach an octopus because I don't know like how long their tentacles are and stuff like that.
Nah, for real.
I was thinking maybe go down in the trenches myself and get Big Tay or Sue.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they've got a good mix of calm, cool, and collected, but they could also wreak their havoc when they need to.
Big Tay get reckless down there for sure.
Yeah, and he can lead too, so he could kind of tell the crew what they need to do. So I might be going with Big Tay on that one.
That's a good choice for real.
Coach, starting with you, talk a little bit about your relationship with Coach Houston and how did it start, where did you guys meet, and how did it get you to where you are today?
Yeah, it goes way back. It goes way back to my mom had a little gas station when I was growing up. Like 2-pump convenience store. You know, when I was 8 years old, Mike, I was out there sweeping the parking lot. We weren't a full-service gas station. You know what a full-service gas station is?
No, I don't know.
Nah, full-service
They
gas
do it all
station
for you, right?
Yeah, when you pulled up, they pumped the
real?
gas for you.
Oh, no, I
so
ain't
we
never
weren't,
had
but every time we stopped by the store or we were at the store, it became a full-service gas station.
Oh.
Hey, Blake, get your butt out there and start pumping gas, you know.
Nah,
But, you know, Coach Houston was in high school. We kind of lived in the same area of town, out in the country there, and he worked for my parents at the gas station, and that was where I first got to know him. And then he was in high school when I was in middle school, and obviously as a middle school athlete, you're always looking up to the high school athletes.
Right.
Coach Houston was obviously a football, player, basketball player, so that's kind of what I was. And you know, a small school like that, you play all 3 sports, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's where it goes all the way back to. And then our first professional experience together was at Lenoir Ryan. You know, Coach Goldsmith, who had been the former head coach at Duke, hired Coach Houston to be our defense coordinator, and I was a linebackers coach, and we were there for 7 years. And
wow.
I think we're going on like year 14 together. So certainly know each other really well, each other's families really well, and been together for a long time.
That's actually crazy. I'd never heard that first story. Kind of a fun fact about me and you, Coach Harrell, is you coached my strength coach from my previous school.
That's right.
So you kind of had some background knowledge of me before I showed up here, and we connected those dots kind of during our quick recruiting process. And that strength coach's dad actually coached my dad when he was in college. So it's just all these connections of college athletics and how it ends up working out. It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty cool.
For the listeners that aren't too caught up or too educated on schemes and stuff like that for a defense, talk about the style of play that you want to see from the Pirates each and every year. I'm
going to let Mike answer it because here's what I think. And I tell, like, anytime I'm in a clinic or talking to fans, like, our players should be able to tell you our culture, what our expectations are. So I'm going to see how well he does. Mike, talk about the style of play on defense.
Well, on defense, off rip, everybody know on defense, we're effort-based defense. We're always going to run to the ball. Everybody going to be there. I don't care, you D-lineman, you tackled or you fell on the ground, you're going to get up, you're going to run to the ball. That's what we all do. We all about turnovers. We all about doing our jobs, doing our assignments, knowing your keys, all that. We're effort. I already said that. But 3-4 base defense, we like to run multiple fronts and all that. But
that's pretty spot on right there.
He's on. He's Mike, on. We talk about it's not what we do, and this, Jack,
how we do
it. Yep. And we talked about if somebody turns the film on your buddy back home in California or Alabama, what are they going to say about you?
Yeah.
They're not going to say fast. Like this is your scheme. They're going to talk about how hard you play.
Right.
Every time.
Yeah. Mike, what's the first drill that Coach Harrell likes to run? A spring ball, fall camp, any chance he gets to get a unit out there? What's the first drill we usually do? Talking about effort-based defense.
We do that. That rabbit, that chase the rabbit
pursuit.
Drill. The pursuit. Yeah, pursuit. What? Oh my God, boy!
I promise you, no matter how much we run, in the summer. Before spring ball, no matter what we do,
you ain't ready for it.
Right before that first practice, when we start with pursuit, it'll have you gassed like no other.
Somebody always messes it up. I don't care who it is.
One person cuts it a little bit short, whole unit back out there sprinting.
I think it's a great way to start spring ball or start fall camp. Just kind of set the tempo for our expectations that you just talked about. But you guys are exactly right. We always even just talk about all right, we're gonna do pursuit drill today. Yeah. The next 2 periods are gonna be like crap because they're gonna be wore out,
and it'll light a fire too. Because let someone really slip up, and the whole team will start tripping at them a little bit.
You got to talk to them. Got to get everybody motivated.
Right, and on the most part, it's all good talks right there.
I just spoke at a clinic this past weekend about the pursuit drill and just some things of that nature. And I said the one thing now that our players have bought in pride about that, like how we do it, right? Yeah. It ain't no longer the coaches taking that, which I think is awesome. When you have a player-led defense or a player-led locker room, you can do some special things. And the fact that our guys and you guys have done that is pretty special.
Right, and I mean, that goes back to fall camps with red dot, green dot.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know about that, we record every practice, every workout that we're allowed to do, we record it. And as a unit, a position group, individually, you'll go back and watch that film that night, that afternoon, the next morning, whenever you get the chance to. And in the unit meeting the next day, there'll be a slideshow with red dot or green dot.
You don't want to be no red dot.
Yeah, you do not want to be a red dot. That means you're loafing, you're slacking, and you're not fitting in with the culture of our defense.
That's right.
So that kind of goes the same way with that pride talk is when the lights come on in front of all your teammates in that team meeting room, you don't want to be the guy with the red dot.
You don't want to be that person messing up. I remember we came in just on yesterday. It was a D lineman. He came in. He was like, "Man, I know I wanted chasing after the ball. I know I'm going to be on a red dot tomorrow."
Exactly, and part of that, and I'm sure that's why Coach does it. He could chime in on this if he wants, but that's the reason why, because we're all competitive people. We take pride in what we do. So when you're on the red dot, you feel like a little sense of your teammates are going to think you're BSing when you get on the field with them, and you don't want that.
No,
so,
I mean,
those dots have always been just to curb behaviors. Hey, here's the behaviors in the green dot. Here's, a guy that we want everybody else to give that same effort, give that same leverage on a tackle, whatever it may be. Vice versa, the red dot is like, hey, you do something bad, there's a standard, there's accountability around here.
Yeah. Right.
And just to hear what you guys are talking about, the accountability level within you as an athlete is pretty special.
Yeah, for sure. Coach, a couple new additions to the defensive staff this offseason. Talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, I mean, we've added a couple full-time guys. Obviously, the two coaches we lost. Sad to see those guys go. Couldn't be better friends to them. Just appreciate everything they did for our program, for Pirate Nation, and what they mean to me as a friend and to my family.
Yeah.
But excited about Damon Magazoo, Coach Mags, a Pirate that played here, a guy that knows Greenville, that knows Pirate Nation, that knows the 252. And then Coach Rico Zachary, who I've worked with, and just couldn't find better men to lead our young men. and better fathers to show examples of how you want to be a father one day. And so, told Coach Maggs this, told Coach Zachary this. Coach Maggs, when he was here, had the pick against NC State, said, now if our safeties will do that, you'll be just fine. I told Coach Zachary, the last time I worked with him, both his guys were all conference. I said, now if you can do that again, repeat that, we'll be pretty good this year.
Yeah, no pressure. But talking about new guys too, there's some new guys on the other side of the ball that'll kind of light up the competition this spring. You guys feel free to chime in on that. I mean, I know from personal experiences, like it gets heated out there, and obviously we're on the same team at the end of the day, and we're trying to better each other. But every time we stepped on that field, like we weren't going to lose to that offense, and we took it that way too.
In fact, it's always about a fight. Have a dog fight. It's about you want to compete, get better. When me going out there competing, going my hardest, trying to beat the next person across from me, I know I'm making him better, and I know he's going to make me better because he's going to do the same thing. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yes. Some days as a coach, he's like, hey, we just want to get quality reps and find ways to get better. But there's still that
you get out there and you're like,
competitive juices. Like you don't want to give up any yardage. You don't want to. Sometimes you're not even keeping points, right? You're always just spotting the ball at the same place. But hey, if we give up a big play or a first down, you all pissed off, and it just sets you in a bad mood for the rest of the evening. So you go in the office the next day all ticked off, like,
and everyone knows it too.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I mean, we've experienced this side of it too, where we go out there and we're kicking them tails like all day, and then so we walk in the next day and we're kind of like, but we got to do it again.
Yes, that's right.
We got to do it again. We got to do it again.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like Rajay say, 1% every day.
Exactly.
Got to.
Mike, talk a little bit. I feel like you've kind of gained more of a leadership role this offseason. And just being a returning guy in this program now, talk a little bit about your leadership role and how that's kind of changed going into spring ball.
I say it's changed a whole lot because last year it was more I was like a guy under Taylor almost, and Taylor was the big guy in our room. He was a leader. He'd been here the longest, knew everything. But now I got to step and base into his role in for how I can see it for real.
Yeah,
I got to be the one that tell everybody, okay, I see how you messing this one. Let me help coach out. Don't go to coach come to me real quick. I can teach you this and that. You feel me? Stuff like that, taking the young guys under my wings, stuff like that, telling the new guys, bringing everybody in, making them feel welcome, making them feel like a family, and make sure everybody knows they'll stand at the same time. Don't let them slip and fall.
Exactly, and that's all you can do. For Pirate Nation fans that don't know too much about the background of you and where you're from, where you came from, how you got to ECU, fill them in a little bit on your journey to East Carolina.
Well, I started off, I went to Georgia Southern my freshman year. I came in, it was a couple of guys ahead of me like the first couple of games. But then they won. I ain't going to say no names, I still love them. They friends back in the day, but like they weren't really no headhunter. They weren't trying to go make no plays.
Yeah.
So coach came in one day in the meetings. He seen me and this other freshman, my boy Eldrick Robinson. Came in, he said, since the rest of y'all want to be some soft, the other way he was
explicit.
Say,
yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Child-friendly podcast here.
Yeah. But since y'all want to do that, we're going to put these two freshmen up and let y'all ride. And the first game, before he came in that meeting, the first game I actually played in was against Arkansas. We went down there to Arkansas. We was down we went to half down maybe 14-20. Yeah, 14-20. I came in second half, made like 2 plays to get a stop. Almost scored, but SEC versus, you know what I'm saying? But then after that, though, I had my time there. Coaches change happened, so that came. The new coaches, I had a little issue with them, so I decided to take my talents up and transfer. And then that's when Coach Harrell and Coach Weed came, hit my phone, started talking to me. After my one visit here, I came. I said, okay, yeah, I want to be here.
Yeah.
Talked to Houston, so let's do it.
I think that's the most common out of, including myself, out of all the people that have transferred here, it's like, I feel like from a coach's perspective, it's just like, get them to Greenville. Because this place is special, and you might be able to see it on Twitter. You might be able to read about it. But, once you get here, you actually, feel it. I remember just before we went to dinner the first night I got in here late, Coach Dallas drove me by the stadium, and it's like, whoa,
that's the key.
They take this serious.
That's the key. Get them to campus, whether it's a transfer, a high school kid, any family. Get them to campus and get them in Dowdy-Ficklin.
Right.
And then everything else sells itself.
Nah, for real.
And even around town, like we go to breakfast or whatever, like you're gonna see all the fans and the spirit and just like the way the restaurants support our program and stuff like that.
1,000%.
Nah, for real. I went to Food Line just the other day. Man came, he said, "Oh yeah, you number 22 from I said, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
I was like,
Like that's cool, and it's little stuff like that that kind of makes you want to work harder too.
Maybe want to do better.
Sometimes when I go to Food Line, they recognize me. They say, "Hey, how about a third down stop?"
And then it's like we also go out and do community service. Partially credit to Team Boneyard, and obviously a big credit to the guys that are actually doing it themselves. But you go out there and you're meeting the little kids. You're going to Special Olympics. You're meeting the super fans like Lil Reed out there, and they're naming stats off about you. Like I remember like one of the first kids I met like told me every play from our Cincinnati game 2 years ago, and I was like, I don't even remember what you're talking about. And it was just like little stuff like that is so meaningful.
Hard,
you got Sup Dogs over there creating certain products that go directly towards our NIL. So just talk about like the town and the community. It's definitely here in Greenville.
Nah, for real. The community, it feel like you feel welcome when you come in. So everybody here for you, everybody pulling for you. They want you to do good, do better. They want, support you. That's how you feel when you come in. The coaches, they love on you. You go out in the community, same thing. I mean, that's about all I can really say. It's just welcome.
It matters here. And it doesn't just matter within our building or within the school. It matters within the community in Eastern North Carolina. And you can't say that for everywhere.
And you talk about that energy around the town, the energy on game day. Nothing compares to the energy that we have in the defensive unit meetings, though. Coach, I've been meaning to ask you kind of a little bit about how that came to you, where you kind of got the need to make that such a big priority, because it does make a difference. And those days at the hotel and those travel days, they do get long, and obviously we're all tired, we're all doing the same thing. But when we go in that Friday night unit meeting,
the music going,
and it's a party.
Yes, every time.
So like, Coach, where'd that kind of come from?
It's grown over the years. I think one thing about those Friday night meetings, you can always tell too if guys are ready, locked in, ready to play. And that's one thing that's kind of stands out when those guys are into that meeting, whether it just be the echo in the back or whatever, or the claps, or just, hey, with their assignments, with their jobs. It makes you leave there and feel really good and sleep on Friday nights. But, I think for any of us, we go into a class or church and you're sitting there for an hour and there's not a whole lot of interaction. You can kind of daze off a little bit. So some of that's just ways and techniques to just kind of keep guys focused and locked in.
Yeah.
And, I'm the type of guy like, hey, I want high energy. I want to coach that way. I want us to be that way on the field. I want us to play with that way in Dowdy-Ficklin. So why not make our meetings that way?
Right. Yeah. And I feel like from a player perspective too, like not only does it wake us up, then allow us to lock back in for that unit meeting coming up, but it kind of takes like our mind off of not the game necessarily, but out of that kind of like blinders on mentality that you get into at the hotel, which is nice because if you're in it for too long, it's not going to be effective. So when you go in there and you're with the boys and you're out there just like rapping and dancing and having fun, it's definitely just kind of like a camaraderie moment that I think we all appreciate, and it goes a little bit under the radar.
We all put a lot of work into this thing, and we really do, like all year round and all week long, whatever it may be. So at some point, we got to have a little fun.
Right.
We're obviously going to have fun when we're winning and doing our thing out there, but, you want to have a little fun in the meetings too and just get relaxed. And I think it's a good way to just kind of show your personalities to each other, whether it's competition time or, if we're just laughing and joking around with each other before we get the meeting started. But you think it's a good way just to kind of get rolling for the day.
Yeah. Talk about having fun, joking around a little bit. Mike, I was informed, I've seen videos, I've seen a couple pictures of you at the basketball game the other week doing a little dance routine.
Hey, man, that's a side quest right there.
Maybe we could have Jarrett pull up a video or two of that, but
it was a red dot.
Nah, ain't no red, that's green right there. That's money right there.
So you were just like, let me go out and show the move. Coach, were you at the game or did you see a video?
I was at the game and saw the video.
They just
Mike, I promise you, the first time you slip up in spring ball or fall camp, Coach Harrell's going to be, you want to be over there dancing.
I'm already know, I'm waiting to hear it. But look, they just asked me one day, I was like, Mike, you want
I think the boys did a good job from what I saw.
Real. Oh, yeah. Big scene. I know you seen Big Tay groove and stuff.
Everyone was all in on it, too.
Nah, yeah. My boy Sam lost a couple of steps there at the beginning, but, we caught our own.
Sam might lose a couple steps every once in a while, but he'll catch up. He's got the big strides. It's all right. It's like a baby draft learning how to run.
Nah, for real. Got
regroup and he'll be there. Our high school, we would do on homecoming. The senior boys on the football team would have to do like a cheer routine with the cheerleaders.
For real? Oh, nah,
You're pretty good at that,
my
weren't you?
first time.
I was a base, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they were trying to judge my weight or anything, but they were like, yeah, you're getting on the bottom of the period, do your homework, pyramid, you're up there, like toss them up. But we got into it. It was pretty fun. Kind of similar to like what you do.
Yeah.
I got an outside question of East Carolina, definitely still football related, guys. Coolest stadium and environment that you've been in and played in. Personally, I'm not taking a shot at them. Obviously, it's won the national championship. But in my eyes, playing at Michigan last year was a little underwhelming. I had some probably bigger expectations than what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, it comes to my mind, BYU was pretty crazy and special.
Yeah.
Which was kind of also a little crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure they aren't allowed to drink caffeine or anything like that. So
For me, I probably say
they were fired up though.
I probably say App State.
Yeah,
Because I done played them even at Georgia Southern. Every game I done been there, it's always packed. They crowds into it no matter what.
Yeah.
At the end of every win, they running on the field.
Yeah, I hated that. And then you got to go across the
Walk
field to the
through all
tunnel. That was bad.
But I was out there last year. Had like 2 different fans ask me for a picture. I was like, man, I don't even want no picture.
Yeah.
You said we the lost. I don't want that.
I think the coolest, like you said, BYU, just because the backdrop and the mountains, and I thought the crowd was really into it there, just kind of being on the road, and up against the odds there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a Friday night
game,
too, so everyone was watching.
Yeah, so that part of it was pretty neat. I thought was it the next week at Cincinnati?
Yeah.
That was I think it was at Nippert Stadium.
Yeah.
It was packed out.
Do you remember being in the stretching lines down there, and their student section was like the boner in the end zone, and they were just chirping right off the bat.
The whole game.
I loved that. That was good.
Non-ECU, I think, and Mike's probably been there, but I agree with what you said. Michigan was not SEC environment.
Yeah, I thought it was.
So I grew up going to SEC games.
Right.
And then we were at the Citadel. We played at Alabama.
Yeah.
And that was – and we go in. We're tied up 10-10 at the half. Yeah. And we go in. We're getting booed by, 90-something plus thousand.
I was going to say that. My older brother was a student at Alabama, and he came to the Michigan game too. Sure. And after we left, he was just kind of like – because they had 100 – like it was packed. It was a sellout. So they had 100,000 plus in there.
But it doesn't feel like it.
It was never that loud.
Even at all, it did not get loud. I felt comfortable there the whole time.
Yeah,
like
it was cool how they all wore yellow, though, but I was just thinking they were Pirate fans in yellow.
Yeah,
so I was looking at it. Trying to think. Cincinnati was definitely on my list for sure, too.
SEC, I ain't going to lie. I know they say SEC get rowdy, but when I played at Arkansas, I wasn't that loud.
Yeah,
for real.
Arkansas not a loud place.
Yeah. I had a chance at my previous school to go to Hawaii and play in the old Pro Bowl stadium, which was pretty cool. Aloha Stadium in Honolulu.
I always say, like, the game of football for all of us provides us so many opportunities that we would never see or never experience. Going to Utah, going to Hawaii, going to Michigan, being in different game day environments or just seeing different things on Fridays, I think is pretty cool.
And that definitely kind of hit home for me when we went back to Utah. Obviously, I'm from California, played in Nevada. I'm used to the mountains and stuff. But I didn't know how many of our teammates had never seen the mountains and been around it. So we're doing that walkthrough on top of the parking garage. And it's almost like the first 10 minutes, like you couldn't even get the group together because everyone was just like starstruck.
Checking it out. That's right.
And that just kind of goes to show you just like how cool it is. It's really just kind of like a band of brothers, like all hop on the plane, go somewhere, experience new stuff. The fact that we're all here,
right?
If you think about it, like
it's special.
It makes us realize how special playing at home is. And when you come out here and those like our first game here was NC State.
Oh yeah.
And so you come out here and you see packed stadium like that. You see the dedication of fans last year when things weren't going our way and we didn't have the season that none of us wanted, but we still come out here and we still got fans supporting us. The passion and the culture of Dowdy-Ficklin is just something that nobody here takes for granted and is definitely special for us. What do you like, Coach? What's your kind of outlook on that? Most of the time you're in the box, but just like the game day atmosphere of Dowdy-Ficklin.
Yeah, it's truly special. And you mentioned the NC State game. There's so many others through the last couple of years that have been special. And for us defensively, I know every time we get them backed up, down in the boneyard and it gets rocking, then I feel like, hey, we getting ready to get after them.
Yeah, let's go after
and
it.
we do,
Right.
and so
They don't
you
call
guys
you
done a
Captain
really good
Chaos
job.
for no reason, Coach.
Any coach that's come to play here or, experienced Dowdy Ficklin over the years or within the conference, they talk about this is the best game day environment within the conference and how special this place is and how loud and it can be in there.
That's awesome. And our fans, along with us, obviously have the ability to make this place that's kind of like a feared place. Like, you don't want the game to go down to the wire here.
No, you don't.
Because it's going to be rats for you.
What?
It's like that 4 overtime Memphis game. Like, stuff
yeah.
could have happened differently, but we were
was a
down in the
great game.
boneyard. Coach Houston's like, no, put the ball down there. It was like,
Let's
call the
ride.
dogs. Let's go.
Let's go. That's
No,
right.
for real.
Mike, let Pirate Nation get to know a little bit about you outside of the game of football. Personally, I've seen you on the video games before. I've seen you in Fortnite. You got smacked.
Yeah,
do your
you know,
homework. Like,
really, I'm
come
really putting
on,
work
come
in.
correct when you come see us. But what else do you like to do?
I mean, for me, not too much. For real. I got outside of home, I got a girlfriend, I got a dog, and I play the game. So when I'm at home, if I'm not out walking my dog, I'm probably inside the crib playing the game, probably playing 2K with my homeboys back home, playing 2K, Madden. We even got this new Madden league with the team too now. We got the whole Madden league, everybody playing. Like, it's like everybody got a team too.
You
So it's
looking
real
forward
competitive.
to NCAA coming out?
What? Oh, yeah. Come on now. Don't let me see myself on there. I'm playing with 22 the whole day.
Mike's a secret hooper too.
Oh, yeah. See, I can't. Yeah, I
You
don't
get
know
active
about
out there?
I'm a real hooper, real sharpshooter.
So you're
Curry.
sniper like that.
I'm the third
You
splash,
stay out of the
brother.
paint?
Oh, yeah, I don't do that paint stuff. That ain't for me.
Boy,
Got-
he's like the second or third best in his family. Pops is probably the best.
Nah. I ain't gonna let them have that. Nah, I ain't gonna let them have that. Nah, I'm for sure the best.
Not
one.
anymore, huh?
Nah, that's been over with.
You're not going for a shot at the title fight yet, though.
Ooh,
You,
crazy.
they got dad strength. You ain't there yet, Mike.
I'm a real
Couple more
grown
years,
man.
couple more
I got
years.
that grown man strength now. 21.
So before we head out of here, Mike, kind of a closing question for you. I'd like to know what the best piece of advice that you've ever received from a coach is. That, like, something you might have got from an elementary coach, high school, that you carry with you today.
The best piece of advice, I'd probably say one of the best piece of advice I probably got was just keep working, let your work speak for you. Don't worry about, because I was the type of guy, I wasn't never like always the fastest person, the most highest jumper, biggest, nothing like that.
Right.
I always I knew I could do my job. I knew my job every time.
Right.
But I was always worried about, like, could I make it? Could I get to the next level? And they always tell me when I was in high school, just let your work talk for you. Don't worry about nothing else. Just do your work. The work gonna speak. So that's probably the most influential thing.
Right, and vice versa. Coach, if you were talking to a high school recruit or a high school version of Mike or myself, what would be your word of advice?
I think anytime you're talking to a young man, or if I was talking to you guys as high school recruits, is exactly what Mike said. Like, you guys got to keep your head down and keep working. You don't have to worry about everything around you. We talk about controlling the controllables all the time, and I think that's what you got to do within yourself. You got to keep your head down, keep working, keep marching forward. Don't worry about the guy beside you. Don't worry about what's happening in another school or another teammate. But you got to make sure that every day you're finding a way to get 1% better.
Right.
You're finding a way that you can take that next step.
Yeah.
And if you'll be the best version of you, regardless of what happens in your life,
Gave it all
you'll
you
be
got.
proud.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'll make your folks proud and have a lot to be proud of.
Ain't too
Most
much people
definitely.
to say.
Well, appreciate you guys. Pirate Nation, that is episode 7 of the Ship's Log with Coach Blake Harrell and returning linebacker Mike Edwards. We will see you next time.
Now, Jack, I have some questions for you.